Hello and welcome to my garden. Today's video I'm just going to show you around as it's spring so that we can have a look at what I've done so far with trying to get my plants to come back so that we'll have beautiful plants and productive plants to harvest in summertime. I've been dealing with the bulbs, the combs, the roses, and also I've been dealing with the vegetables, the tomatoes, the kale, strawberries. I will not be able to show everything today, but I'll show the things that are able to stay out because it's still getting very cold in the nights. So the things that are already outdoors, I'll show them in this video. Come along with me. We have the strawberry there, which I'm going to transplant very soon. They've grown big enough. And these are the lilies that are repotted. That's the hoster that I changed its pot, changed the pot of those lilies as well. I cleared out some of the plants in this bed that were getting too big, and I brought the roses back to their place and they're growing on. I've not yet trimmed these ones because I need to have more understanding of their growth pattern. But the roses that I've had for a long while, I have trimmed those ones. I've trimmed this as well. But I've not put it in its appropriate place because I've still got one more rose on another side that is coming back. These are the lilies that I put into this bed. I made that hole because I intend to put one rose in there. And as you are hearing the birds singing, welcoming the spring, the plants are coming along. And I changed the lavender into a deeper bucket. Somebody gave me a white bucket. When I saw somebody's garden where she had, I will put your name in this link below, and she had this beautiful lavender, and I just thought, I think I need a bigger pot for the lavender. So what I do is I try to observe and see what mistakes I've made and how I can easily correct them if it's possible. And that's what I do a lot of the time. So I put this into deeper pot so that the lavender can have a better chance at growing. These are the dahlias. I have them covered. They're already coming out, but I have a lot of squirrel friends, and in an attempt to get to their peanuts, they often damage my dahlia. So I've put the dahlias under cover to keep them warm and to keep them safe. I've also put these bottles here as Cherry King from Cherry King's gardening as advised, so that I don't poke my eye on the sticks. So if you have something sticking out, please do put a bottle on it. It's safer. Those ones are behind, but I'm still going to find bottles to put on them at some point. And when I'm looking at this pot, I can see that this level of the soil is all right. But these two pots, I've made the level of the soil to be too high. So at some point, I may have to scrape out some of the soil. Because when I'm trying to water every day, the water spills onto the edges. You can see the edge there, it's got soil on it. We should leave space so that once we are watering, the water stays within the pot. It's not spilling all over the place like a careless abandon. The bed is alright. This pot is alright. Although this plant is going out, it's bachelor's potting for my friend. Now, one thing else that I do is when I say I'm weeding, I only weed out plants that I can identify. And the ones I can't identify, I wait for them to grow bigger. As a result, I found this. This is a cosmos. And this, see how big it's grown. I found it as a weed. And all these other weeds, I can't identify them yet, but when I'm able to, even this, I will then get rid of them. It's always nice to be able to capture a few plants from our gardens as seedlings, just like that one. I would have just withered it away, but I didn't do that. The cosmos that I grew myself, see, it's far behind. So another thing is that cosmos is from another packet entirely. So you have certain differences from this one. That's why I like to save weeds that I can identify in my garden, so that I can see this weed, this is what it is, and I will grow it on. I've grown the rest of my pack of dahlias because I only grew some before and they've germinated. So this is what dahlia looks like. This is what zinnias. This is what zinnias look like. It will first of all have 2 seed leaves, and then you have 2 more that will look quite big, so it looks like 4. This is what spinach looks like. It's actually very nice to be able to identify plant. That's a pumpkin I got from my friend, and somebody said to me, you can plant the seeds. So I've decided to plant the seeds of the pumpkin. This red seedlings, that's Malabar spinach that I got from my daughter's friend, and I hope to grow it on because it's a favorite for me. I like Malabar spinach. Thank you. Forget-me-nots, daisies, and the wallflower is flowering. I'm always looking out for the wallflower because it starts off by looking a very bright, almost red. Some of the petals will be red, and then it gets to a lighter yellow, and gradually as the season progresses. That's my jade in mother-in-law's tongue. I've added a basket to my vertical garden. This basket will take about 6 pots. I have in there chives, onion, ginger. It can take 6 pots of that size. And I'm also going to put this basket on that one, so it can take a few more pots before I now decide what I'm going to put at the lowest part. So I've actually created for myself a lot of space for my seedlings. That's the rose I'm going to put in its place. I've taken this crocosmia because it's trying to overtake my bed, so I'm going to put it in another garden across the road. This is my broccoli. I don't really know how to grow broccoli very well, so it started to flower, and I'm still studying it and following all the instructions in the book. I will let you know. I've been starting a lot of mint. So I look forward to having a lot of mint supply this year. That's the buzz plant, the butterfly plant. Trying to make a small shrub of it. And as I said in one of my videos past, the Triscantia is starting to dry out, and so when it's the right time, I would propagate it again for this new year. It will look more beautiful than having this dry part, but it's still lovely like this. But within a month, more dryness will start appearing. I think that's already broken off. Yeah. So I've got to have to put this, cut it into about 3 and put it in water. Let me keep it in the shade. This is my perpetual sunflower. This plant, I don't really identify what it is, but I want to talk about this again. It's closed for the night because it's getting cold. The dandelion, and this is the last of it. When they're all done, to come out in its white puff, and then I can uproot it, and it's done its job for the year. The job of the dandelion is so that the bees, when they come in, we call this the hungry gap, when many flowers haven't started to come out. The bees can find food in plants like the dandelion, the herb robot. That is why I'm keeping this. It's a weed, but I let it grow here every year. Because the bees come along and they can get nectar from the herb robot. It also has a funny name because it's used to stanch nosebleeds. Yeah, they call it death come quickly. The hyacinth came in early. It's done its job. This is going to form seeds, but I don't think they would be growing because it grows by bulb. This is my tuja. I grew it by seed. I will also show you one thing that I do when I'm weeding, and that is to not weed a plant that I'm not yet able to identify, so that when I'm able to identify it, if it's a useful one, I'll keep it. If it's a weed really, then I'll let it go. Some tomatoes can be weeds because there's a whole lot of them. This is going to be useful because when it comes in, it's quite beautiful. I found this bachelor's button. I actually cut it up into 3 pieces, and each one of them is growing safely. Cosmos. All those have come in as weeds. They're all beautiful flowers. I mean, as volunteers, rather. Thank you for coming along with me. I hope you learn a few things and pick up for your own use as well. That's my cherry tree. It's good to grow fruit trees. I've got a few other fruit trees. This is the first one. Thank you very much for stopping by. Please leave me a like, a comment, and subscribe if you're new here. And I'll see you in my next video. Have a nice day. Bye.